बहुत बार हम लोग फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में हम लोग सुनते हैं कि कोई बादशाह है, कोई सुल्तान है और कोई टाइगर है. पहली बार इस तरीके से हो रहा है कि दैट यू नो समवन इज सेइंग कि आई एम अ गोल्ड फिश. I'm gold. This is new.
Akshay sir's Prithviraj in Hindi and Kamal sir's Vikram in Tamil. They were saying they're the big fish. A lot of people were saying to us that they're the big fish. They're the big fish. So ठीक है, तो हम goldfish हैं.
South generally people they tend to have this very economical or very sparse sort of outlook towards promotions. बहुत ही कम करते हैं. लेकिन I think करते हैं वो वजन होता है. जैसे अभी आपने goldfish बोला, महेश said कि that it's very difficult to afford me. So वो I think it's everywhere.
In fact, before this interview, we were having the discussion कि ये लोग मतलब ये दोनों इतने fancy लग रहे हैं इस interview में. And I've just sort of
I noticed that. I noticed that.
Hyderabad से तो RRR, it's gone huge. So अब triple S की बारी है.
Triple S की बारी है.
God, that do you like plan it?
So I think
he said RRR.
Do you?
No, he said SSS. That's what
SSS. Yeah. Well, we have this Sesh, Saiee and Sobhita, all of them, they are having S in their names and their film Major is coming up. Tremendous buzz for it. Pleasure having you guys with us on Bollywood Hungama.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
So Sesh, you know, बहुत बार हम लोग फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में हम लोग सुनते हैं कि कोई बादशाह है, कोई सुल्तान है और कोई टाइगर है.
मूवी का नाम
ये पहली बार इस तरीके से हो रहा है कि दैट यू नो समवन इज सेइंग कि आई एम अ गोल्ड फिश. I'm gold. This is new.
But its reasoning behind it is really sweet.
Yeah, it was impromptu.
Right.
So I think other people from BH were there that day.
Right.
A journalist had asked, you've got these big films releasing and you know, Akshay sir's Prithviraj in Hindi and Kamal sir's Vikram in Tamil.
Right.
What's the deal? And I was like, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I've grown up on their films, you know. Sadma, Vasanta Kokila and Telugu, all-time top 5 for me. I've danced on Tu Cheez Badiya Mast Mast in school.
Right.
So it's not a discussion ki like, you know, you're competing or something like that. I think that is a very media headline. I think the deal was, they were saying they're the big fish. A lot of people were saying to us that they're the big fish, they're the big fish. I said, ठीक है, तो हम goldfish हैं.
अच्छा.
So you know, like we have our own shine, अपना चमक. That's all. It's a very, it's from a place of emotion, not from a place of thought or calculation or analysis.
Right. So, Sobhita, how do you look at yourself? Like goldfish, fish with fins, without fins?
Shark.
I thought you said mermaid. Yeah, what the hell? He's saying shark.
So, आप कैसे देखते हैं अपने आप को?
I want to be the mermaid.
She wants to be a mermaid.
Okay. And Saiee, what about you?
I'm Dory. I forget. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
But looking forward, I think it's you've patiently waited.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think the most patience this one has had.
Right.
But for me, I think the whole process was so fun and such a nice experience because I spent most of my growing years shooting major. I think like 18 to 20.
Growing years.
Yeah, like that's when you like find who you truly are or whatever. So I think I did most of that shooting major, and it was really inspiring because I was doing that, acting in a person's life who was so inspiring. So I think it was a great learning experience for me.
Right. And how was your experience working with these two ladies?
You know, it's very different. Because Shobhi and I are friends from Gudachari. We'd done a super hit film together.
Right.
A few years ago. So it was
2018,
like,
I believe.
Yes,
Yeah,
18, yeah.
it's my first like only other Telugu film.
Yeah, so it's like she's a Telugu girl, but you know she hasn't done Telugu cinema. So it was so nice to have her in Gudachari, and so it's almost like homecoming here. And this was another thing like where I ended up getting connected to the entire family, to Medhaji, to Sai's friends. You know, they'd play pranks on me. They've done jokes on me that made me go, "Whoa, what's happening?" You know.
Right.
So I just think it's a very different vibe. You know, I feel like I'm a part of their family, and I feel like we've been family. So it's that kind of a space. And now that Major is finally here, Hyderabad से तो RRR, it's gone huge. So अब triple S की बारी है.
Triple S की बारी है.
God, that do you like plan it?
So I think
He said RRR.
Do you?
No, he said SSS. That's what
SSS. Yeah. So do you have interest in advertising as well, by any chance?
I mean, not really.
I think
You mean
Sesh
you want me to
himself
write
is a whole movie.
Copy.
Yeah,
Like, he
because
can do everything.
I think you can, because at the
Copywriter.
goldfish thing, now this triple S thing.
Yeah.
So
He's flowing.
yeah,
he
seems
can
to be
he can just
literally
make a movie
swimming,
on his
gliding.
own by himself,
Clip on himself.
and then like advertise it himself, and it'll still be.
You know what it is? I'm not sure people are used to people who are not curated. And I can say this without a hint of pessimism, especially in Hindi cinema. There's so much, in recent years, there's been so much that's said कि ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए, ये होता है, वो होता है, you know, public का एक anger about something. Maybe I'm too naive, but I believe that जो दिल में बोल दो यार, you know. At the same time, try not to be harsh or vicious with anyone. So if you got anything you think is good to say in your heart, don't filter it.
Right.
I want to say, I want to add something. Like, so because we were talking about Gudachari, so during the making of that film, I saw him obsess about a particular person, and which is
Like a
Major
woman or
Sandeep.
something?
Huh?
Like a woman or something?
No,
Oh my god. No.
About Major Sandeep.
Major Sandeep
Oh, okay.
Unnikrishnan.
Yeah, please specify it.
And I mean, at that point, I mean, even he was like, you know, I'm doing this film. I'm so excited. I want to tell his story, his life as a story, because cinema is the most like popular medium, and I would love for people to know about him. And so I was like, yeah, good. Like, you know, best of luck. I had no idea at that point that I would get the chance to be a part of this world. So I feel like, in a way, I have been the first audience to this story, you know, through the course of its making. So there's a certain almost affection with the way, like the way we tell the story of this man, because I feel like inherently the cast and crew of this film, we're all fans of Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan. So there's a certain love there, wherein I think the storytelling has come from a place of his life is so amazing, he's so cool, he's just like, people should know about him.
Right.
So
Because so
there's-
many people only know about the attacks. They only know about the hundreds of people he saved. But वो ये नहीं जानते कि उससे पहले 31 years, how beautiful a life he led, that caused him to take those decisions in those 36 hours. So this film is a real look at that.
Right. Okay, and you know, you mentioned about the fact that जो भी दिल में आए वो कह दो. So you recently, I think, also had this entire discussion about fans calling you thrilling star, and you said that you're not very cool with this idea, because I think South में तो ये बहुत एक, I think, common
Title.
everyone, yeah, title बड़ा crucial होता है.
No, they called him torture star.
She's just like,
Hey, that's true, you can Google it. Because he tortures his team.
Why does it touch?
no, that's actually
Perfection or
on
something?
Yeah.
Gudachari audio launch. क्या हुआ था? My producer, he'd seen how hard we'd worked, and he'd never seen anything like it, because we really put blood, sweat, and tears into that film and this
It was
film.
made like an indie, Gudachari, so when it did really well, we were all very encouraged, but the putting together of a film like that, there was such a large, vast dream and so little resources, but like there was no compromise made, and for that, you know, like full credit
It can
to
be
Sesh.
torturous if you don't have the resources, you know. This time for Major, we got a very big canvas. Mahesh sir produced the film. Sony, Namrata Garu and Mahesh sir brought on Sony, and Sony really took it international. So I think we just got this very wide canvas to be able to tell this 120 days, build 8 sets for the film, shoot it in 75 different locations, Kashmir, Bangalore, Bombay, Hyderabad, you name it, we did.
And you know, it's South generally people they tend to have this very economical or very sparse sort of outlook towards promotions. बहुत ही कम करते हैं, लेकिन I think करते हैं वो वजन होता है. जैसे अभी आपने goldfish बोला, महेश said कि that it's very difficult to afford me. So वो I think it's everywhere, you know. एक sentence बोला उन्होंने, and it's like everywhere. बड़ा उसमें उनके हाथ में माइक था, मैं देख रहा था, उसमें लिखा हुआ है 3 languages, मलयालम, हिंदी and तेलुगु. 3rd June. अब वो हर किसी ने वो देखा, so बेहतरीन promotion है.
Yeah, it's not intended in that way.
That is I can vouch for. I think all the South stars, they are extremely reserved and they're very genuine. I think it's a different category altogether. The way they conduct themselves, it's truly remarkable.
In fact, before this interview, we were having this discussion कि ये लोग मतलब ये दोनों इतने fancy लग रहे हैं इस interview में. And I've just sort of
I noticed that. I noticed that. Which is great.
Yeah. So
You just want कि people give them तारीफ.
But you know, I think actresses उनको तो बनता है.
बनता है.
They
And I'm
need to.
happy. I'm happy to. I'm happy
It's
to.
expected also. It's not even like banta hai.
I'm happy to behold the beauty. Is my point.
The weight of this, you know, this burden of beauty that he's carrying.
Right. Okay. And how is you know, when we're talking Mahesh, so we are forgetting the fact that there is Mahesh Babu sir as well. How did he react to?
He saw it
movie?
last night.
I believe he saw it last night.
Yeah, he did. And my dad genuinely, honestly, doesn't say things about movies. Like, if he's watched a movie, he doesn't say anything, we just assume he didn't like it. But when he generally likes the movie, he'll say everything good about it to everybody. And he came out of the theatre and he's seen me act a lot in school, in plays, a bunch. And he's always given me like a lot of rubbish. Like, you did this wrong, you done that wrong. And he's like, I'm not saying this just because you're in it, but he genuinely enjoyed the movie. And he called Sesh up. He took the phone to me when I called him to tell him how it was, and spoke to him.
After he said these amazing compliments, you have to understand. I grew up on Sir's films, and we have this great Vastav film connection with Major because Namrata Garu is the producer on the film.
She was there.
And Mahesh Babu sir is the director of that film, and Sai's dad. I told him, I ended up saying, You're my favorite Mahesh sir in North India.
And South India, it's obviously Mahesh Babu.
So, you know, we are so blessed in terms of how people are loving the film. We've shown it to about 1,700 people already. In Telugu cinema, print is not ready until the last moment. So you never get the chance to show it to anyone. There's no chance to reflect. And Hindi, I've often heard that there's so much worry कि यार कहीं ऐसा ना हो जाए कि फिल्म के बारे में कुछ गलत बोल दें. So they never show the film before the Friday morning. There's this worry. And this love that we've gotten, and it's entirely based on how people have reacted. It's not an inbuilt self-confidence. It is confidence that I'm seeing increase every day. It enabled us to come up with this idea. We said, screw it. Let's screen the film across India, exclusive previews. So we announced it this morning. 9 different cities, 9 different screenings, 10 days, all of it before the official release on June 3rd.
That is fascinating. That is fascinating.